It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it's showtime, and National Voter Registration Day. So take a friend to register today if you still got time. And here in South Carolina, there's a special election. So you got until 7 o'clock to vote. So the Geno Jones Show, I guess you kind of figured out, yeah, I'm Geno. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You and everybody you know and like and love, can't stand, hate, strangers, aliens from outer space. I don't give a damn. Tell them all. Must-see TV, simply the best. So like I said, oh, and by the way, I am at the threshold of becoming a YouTube partner. That means you'll see YouTube ads, like, you watch some YouTube shows and you'll see some ads from YouTube. Well, you're going to start seeing those. And when you see those, that means that Geno Media is getting a check from YouTube. So thank you for supporting my media company. Thank you for supporting the Geno Jones Show. My 3rd-year anniversary, we're going to be celebrating the entire week of October. The first week in October will mark and celebrate 3 years. 3 of doing the Geno Jones Show live Monday through Friday. Man, where did the 3 years go? It went by super, super fast. It did. So today, like I said at the very beginning of the show, is National Voter Registration Day. Register a friend today. Because, listen, I really want to talk about, my monologue is just really going to be about the importance of voting and about stepping into your power. Everybody, especially my young people, and then some not so young people, they don't want to vote. Oh man, my vote don't count. And they both parties are the same. First of all, no, that's a lie. You have one political party. Now, it's not perfect, and as flawed as it may be, they still believe in freedom. They believe in a democracy. Now, I know you hear this word a lot now. Defending our democracy. I don't think you all really understand what that means, but it means like your whole life, if we lose a democracy, what we call, as flawed and as effed up as it might be, especially for people that look like me, but it damn sure beats the alternative, because the alternative is you got a cult with a cult leader that wants to be a dictator. And it basically wants to turn America into what Nazi Germany was in the 1930s. What Italy was under Mussolini in the early 1900s. Man, do y'all know what that's really like? When you lose your freedoms, when you lose everything, you lose your power, you lose your voice. First Amendment, all those, like the First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, freedom of speech, that shit is going out the window. Because if Orange Jumpsuit Hitler gets his ass back in office, he's already told you before he even gets in the door. He wants retribution. He wants to retaliate against folks who didn't kiss his ass and allow him just to get away with committing all kind of crimes. Dude is facing 91 charges. How many folks you know in the hood that's facing 91 charges? They got 91 charges all at the same time. I can't stress enough, man, please, when you say your vote doesn't matter, it doesn't matter because you don't make it matter. And we are at a very dangerous, precarious place right now. Study history. A lot of the things that you see happening here right now. Don't take my word for it. Just Google it. Go to the History Channel on demand and just pull up Nazi Germany, the early years, what was happening in the 1930s. They start off with things like they want to ban books. Where are they doing that here? They don't want to teach true history. They want to ban black history. They want to ban books. They lie. They lie and gaslight you and tell you that, oh, both parties are the same, and they're not. They want to virtually take away all your rights. Women lost their rights in Nazi Germany. Women here in America lost their reproductive rights. They don't get to determine what they do with their body. They don't get to determine whether or not they even want to have a child, even if they are a victim of rape or incest. I'm in a state right now, in South Carolina. They got a 6-week abortion ban. Talk to any woman that's been pregnant, and she will tell you, in a lot of cases, a lot of times, a woman doesn't even know she's pregnant at 6 weeks. Some women don't have regular menstrual cycles, so they may go 5-6 weeks, depending on a lot of different various factors. I'm not an OBGYN, but just talk to any woman. It could be medicine, it could be stress, a lot of things, exercise that could make their cycle, their menstrual cycle, not come at a regular time. So the point is, it would be very easy for a woman not to even know she was pregnant until 6 weeks. It may be before she kind of realizes, oh damn, it's been 6 weeks. I thought I was gonna come on late. Didn't come on at all, found out you're pregnant. Can't terminate the pregnancy. Not here in South Carolina, not in Florida. I think they either have, or they're working on a 6-week abortion ban in Georgia, Arkansas, Mississippi is probably right there with them. All these southern states, and all the southern states that are banning black history and banning books and banning abortions and limiting women's reproductive freedoms and trying to take away your voting rights and civil rights. You got states that are what they call gerrymandering, just rigging the voting maps so black people won't have voting power. They're doing that right now. As a matter of fact, the Supreme Court even ruled against the state of Alabama and said, no, y'all really rigged those maps. You got to go back and change them. And they didn't want to do that. The state of Alabama is still fighting that right now as we speak. So when you hear people talk about we're defending democracy, that's real talk. It absolutely is. You don't know how serious, how your everyday life will change. Everyday life will change. Let me just step away from the camera for a second. I need to do a little tweaking here. Hit a little button here. There were some technical difficulties. That's what I love about live TV. So here we're back. Banning books, banning black history, getting to the Supreme Court, striking down affirmative action, as if institutional racism doesn't exist. Pretty soon you got Clarence Thomas, Uncle Clarence Thomas, on the Supreme Court saying, well, maybe we should look at all these different rights. Maybe a business should be able to discriminate against somebody. Why should a business be forced to serve somebody they don't want to serve? It's their business. In essence, he's saying they should have a right to discriminate based on your race or who you fall in love with, who you want to marry, who you have a sex life with. And you've had, like I said, you've had Orange Jumpsuit Hitler to say he wants revenge. You had, listen, he engaged in an insurrection. he sent the equivalent of what Germany had in the 1930s. They were called brown shirts. And Hitler got the idea from Mussolini. In the early 1900s, they were called the black shirts. They were just like racist, radical, anti-government. In a lot of cases, a lot of them were former military people. Men that had been in the army or the military in Italy and Germany and had been brainwashed to support a dictator that's going to basically say you can only really observe there's only one legitimate religion, white Christian nationalism, or they may call it white evangelicalism. But old girl, House of Representatives, the little nutty one in Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says, I'm a proud white Christian nationalist. She's telling you. They don't even try to hide it anymore. They say the quiet part out loud with a megaphone. Take your civil rights. This insurrection, they tried to violently overthrow the federal government, and he sent his thugs in. A lot of these guys were ex-military, some ex and current police officers, cops that were member of the Proud Boys, who the leader of the Proud Boys is now serving nearly 30 years in jail. The leader of the Oath Keepers and 3 Percenters, I think one of the leaders of the Oath Keepers, his ass is in jail. They wanted to violently overthrow a free and fair election to reinstall a man who wanted to be a dictator, who was talking about sending in American troops to the streets of Portland and Chicago to maintain and restore law and order. Do you understand what that looks like? That's what's happened. That is what happened in Nazi Germany. That's absolutely what happened. Now, you may think that I'm like trying to scare you. I'm trying to school you and get you to open your eyes. They say we're anti-woke. You know why they say they're anti-woke? Because they don't want you to wake up. And they don't want fair-minded people of all races, white people, Hispanic brothers and sisters, Jewish brothers and sisters, Native American, Asian American. Because they want to install a dictator and to be free to be as racist and sexist and misogynistic and homophobic and transphobic and anti-religious bigots as possible. Because it's going to make a handful of people a lot of money. Hate and fear and racism has always been big business. Not for a whole lot, but for a small handful of people that want to control power. And they have used this made-up bullshit concept, or they call construct. Race is not, it is, there's nothing biological about race. I said this 1,000 times on this show. Race is a social, political power construct. It was created way back in the 1600s in Europe, and then they brought it over here in the late 1600s. So a small handful of people could basically pit poor and working class, then peasants and enslaved Africans and overseers who, you know, they were still poor, but at least they were getting a check. It wasn't much. They wasn't getting paid enough where they could own slaves, where they could buy slaves, enslaved people, or buy plantations. But they would pay them enough and give them some power with a gun and a whip, made them think they were special because you oversee those Negroes, those N-words, those less than human people. In the meanwhile, your white ass was never going to get wealthy. You were never going to be a plantation owner. They were never going to pay you that way. They didn't want you in their club. They didn't even like you. They were just using your ass and pitting black against white. And all that's made up so they could stay in power. And you got the same thing happening today, right now. You've got CEOs that are openly saying, oh, we need to, we need to have an unemployment rate at like 40 or 50%. Had a CEO say that here in America, one in Australia and one here in America. Said, yeah, you people want to stay at home and work from your home office, and young people don't want to come into work. You need to come back into work. Or maybe we need to fire out so many people where the unemployment rate will be 50%. Really? Where CEO pay is higher than it's ever been. You've got writers and actors in the SAG-AFTRA union, which I'm a member of through AFTRA, the American Federation of Radio and Television Announcers. And you got these CEOs of Disney and all these big companies getting $30, $40, $50 million. A salary, $30 million, not to mention bonuses and private jets. The CEOs of GM and what we know as Chrysler, I think, or either Ford and Chrysler, they make like 360 plus times more than the average worker at the plant. GM is just as bad. Almost 300 times more. Come on, what are we doing, man? Listen, I cannot stress this enough. National Voter Registration Day. Your vote gives you, it's your superpower. It is the one day. And if it's a presidential election every 4 years, but if it can be a local election for mayor or for aldermen and alderwomen, alderpersons, or councilmen or councilwomen, council people. They call them here councilmen, councilwomen, council people. Here in the Carolinas, in Chicago, they're alderpersons, aldermen, alderwomen. Your state governors, your state representatives that write these laws, these state legislators, state senators, your state representatives, they write, and they basically write these laws for these governors to sign to ban black books or to ban books on black history. So you can't teach black history and you can't get any credit for it for college. And to tell women that even if a 10-year-old child is raped or a victim of incest, that's too bad, she got to have a baby. A bunch of men, a bunch of old men sitting around, and primarily a bunch of old white men with power sitting around telling white women, black women, and all people what to do, what they can do with their body, and what religion they should worship, what God they should pray to. Man, y'all better look at the History Channel and pull it up on demand and see what is happening. But your vote is your superpower. And when you say my vote doesn't count, it doesn't count because you don't use the power that you have. And why do you think so many states are working so hard to make it hard for people to vote? In a lot of black neighborhoods, on election day, they have closed down polling places where people have to travel 20, 30, 40 minutes to go vote. When a lot of these, especially affluent white neighborhoods, it's right around the corner or right up the street or a couple blocks down. In the 2020 election, you had voting booths, you had polling places in black neighborhoods. People stood in line, in some cases in the rain, for 8, 9, 10 hours. Why would somebody do that? Because they don't want you to vote. Why would they close down polling places in black neighborhoods? Because they don't want you to vote. Why are they banning black history? Now, they're banning black history, not just because they don't want black folks to know. They don't want these young, open-minded white kids and Hispanic kids and Asian kids to form a coalition with these black kids. And they don't want these white kids to look at the horrors of slavery and Jim Crow, legalized segregation that allowed murder and lynching and rape. They don't want young white kids to look at that and say, that's horrible, that's wrong. We got to make sure that we don't grow up to be like the people that looked like us. It could have been a grandparent or parent. But we don't want to grow up to have that hate in our heart and to have that evil, wicked spirit and mentality. Because, I'm going to say it again, fear, racism, hatred, sexism, misogyny, patriarchy is big business. And it has been for centuries. But in a democracy, as flawed as it may be, Election Day is the one day that you've got as much power as Bill Gates. You got as much power as Oprah Winfrey. You got as much power as Beyonce or Jay-Z. Rihanna is a billionaire, but guess what? On Election Day, Rihanna's vote don't count a billion times more than yours does. Your vote carries the same power that Rihanna's does, or Beyonce's does, or President Barack Obama's does, or LeBron James. Or just insert whatever name you want to insert. Any name. So your vote does count. And that's why so many people are working so hard to discourage you. The Russians are posing on social media like they're black folks, telling other black folks, yeah, they're all the same. Don't vote. I wouldn't vote either. What have the Democrats done? What has Joe Biden done? If you got an elderly parent, that's a diabetic or grandparent or aunt or uncle, they can now purchase their insulin. If they need insulin, they can now purchase their insulin for $35 a month. Where some people were paying $600, $700, $800, $900 a month for insulin. You had seniors on fixed incomes doing that. Oh, remember those child tax credits? Maybe you got them, or maybe your sister got them, or your brother, or somebody in your family. You had a cousin that got those child tax credits. Until President Biden lost the House of Representatives, and the MAGA cult wouldn't vote, wouldn't pass the child tax credits in the House of Representatives, so they wouldn't approve of the money. So they stopped it. They ended that. And you know what those child tax credits that you were getting every month was $250. In some cases, it was $300 a month per child. Every month. Those child tax credits took virtually half of the black children in America who were in poverty out of poverty. As a matter of fact, it took virtually half of the children overall of all races that was in poverty. It took them out of poverty. But now a lot of those same children and their families, they have slipped back into poverty because they haven't gotten those child tax credits in over a year now. Hey, what did President Biden do for black folks? Lowered the cost of health insurance, made Obamacare even more affordable. Because a lot of folks didn't have insurance until Obamacare, or they call it the Affordable Care Act. Even a lot of poor white folks that said they hated Obamacare, but they loved their health insurance and had Obamacare all the time. I've seen people, they show stories, truly poor trailer park living white people in Kentucky, missing teeth, finally got insurance and dental coverage and was going to get new teeth and say, what do you think about Obamacare? Oh, I hate Obamacare. Oh, what kind of insurance? Did you get government insurance? Oh, yeah. And they called it, I think, K Connect, some kind of K Care in Kentucky. Oh, we love that. And the governor, who was a Democrat in Kentucky, he just changed the name. He called it something else, but it was Obamacare, just with a different name. Also, we love that. We love our K Care, but we hate Obamacare. Your K Care is Obamacare. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Then they want to get mad and lie. HBCUs got nearly $4 billion from President Joe Biden. He's trying to protect your voting rights and your civil rights. And if he was able to put some people on the Supreme Court, he did put the first black woman, a Supreme Court justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson. And if he was able to put more people on the court, like Orange Jumpsuit Hitler put 3 people on there, and Senator Mitch McConnell from Kentucky, who basically gangstered and stole one Supreme Court seat from Barack Obama because President Obama was just too nice and cordial and wanted to do things in a civil way. He wanted to follow tradition, and they didn't give a damn about no tradition or norms or what was normal. Damn that. They want power. And the way these white nationalists, who basically have been openly calling for a civil war for years now, if Orange Jumpsuit Hitler gets back in office because too many folks, especially too many people that look like us or young people that say, my vote don't count, it won't count. And boy, you lose this democracy. There's a singer, rest in peace, Bobby Womack, had a song, if you think you're lonely now, wait until tomorrow. If you think that we're losing democracy now, just wait and see what happens if you really lose it. If Mr. Orange Jumpsuit Hitler, prison number 7843265, I don't know. That might be his number, what it was. I don't know what it was, but I'm serious. I am as serious as life and death. I'm very serious about that. Freedom as we know it and take it for granted, a freedom to say what you want to say about the president or any politician or anybody you don't like, that's going to be out. You'll be like Russia, state TV. Everything, or North Korea, everything that you will see on TV. So forget about Netflix and all that, and MSNBC and CNN and BET, and Revolt TV and the Griot TV. Man, forget about all that. It's going to be 2 or 3 channels with all right-wing, white nationalist propaganda. You don't believe me? You get a chance, talk to some people who escaped North Korea. Talk to some people. If you could, talk to some people who live in Russia, in Moscow right now. Happy birthday, Sanaa Lathan, 52 today. She's been in so many movies. I loved her in Love and Basketball. She was in both The Best Man and The Best Man Holiday, Brown Sugar, Something New. That was a good movie too. She's 52. And actor Columbus Short, complicated brother, said he named his son Denzel so he could finally call somebody a little N-word, because he said Denzel. He was in a movie with Denzel, and Denzel supposedly made him feel like a little N-word. Columbus Short was also, he's a good actor though. He was in Cadillac Records also. Columbus Short is 41 today. Hey, shout out to everybody watching me live. My number one fan, my mother. Thank you, mother, for watching me live, everybody. Yes, it is election day. I voted. Special election here between state representatives Wendell Gilliard and Dion Tedder. So we should know. As a matter of fact, you've seen Representative Gilliard he's a friend of the show, so he's been on multiple times. So you will get a chance to, we'll keep you updated. But once again, today, National Voter Registration Day. Register a friend day. But you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm going to let you in on a secret. Guess what? every day. Every day. Let's make National Voter Registration Day. Let's make Register a Friend Day every day. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you and God most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You and everybody that you know, like, love, can't stand, hate, strangers, aliens from outer space. I'm good with all of it. Tell them to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show. We are soon to become a YouTube partner, so I need more subscribers. The more subscribers my channel and my show gets, the more subscribers, the longer you watch, the more you tell everybody you know, or as Nelly would say, everybody you know, to binge watch and watch it over and over and subscribe. The more we can grow my media company, and we can bring you great content and begin to give other people opportunities to have shows on the platform and employ other people, and just build our media platform and media network, because we got to get into ownership in media, and we need to do it quick, because this window ain't going to be open long. They're going to shut it. Just like the whole diversity, equity, and inclusion. All these corporations, they were hiring people in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and giving money to HBCUs and black nonprofit organizations. Now, after the Supreme Court said that affirmative action is banned, so it's like, hey, get rid of all that diversity, equity, and inclusion. We white people feel like we're discriminated against. Shut up. Shut up with that. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out on Instagram, on IG. CEO of Designer Cuts here in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro. Kel B Cutting Up. KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones, the drip director, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show, along with my man, Mr. Bruce Gage. Allie Jones, check out her special. She got a brand new crochet. She did a summer crochet line. She's now working on her fall winter custom made crochet line, tops, pants, leggings, handbags, little scullies, little beanies, and a whole lot more. LX.N like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi, underscores that little dash at the bottom all the way to the right behind that last letter. LX.NCL underscore on Instagram, on IG, and Bruce Gage on Instagram. Miglio Di Mario Uomo, MIGLIODI, MARIOUOMO, MIGLIODI, MARIOUOMO. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be Wednesday, Working Divas Wednesday around here. That's what we call it, Working Divas Wednesday, and support black-owned business, support black-owned business days. And we're going to have a black business owner, young lady that's got her own real estate company, Andrea Perry. So she's going to basically share her story, how she got her business started, the pitfalls and what she learned, and whatever advice and pearls of wisdom that she would share with anyone else that wants to start their own company, specifically if it's in real estate. But the principles that she applies in her real estate business, I'm sure there's some principles that you could apply to any business. So we're going to have a great conversation. That's going to be on Wednesday, Working Divas Wednesday. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. I love each and every one of you so much. Until Wednesday, when we're live again, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, I'll holler. Thanks.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.